So today, we're going to be talking about truth. We're going to talk about nature. We're going to talk about healthy masculine energy and healthy male energy, and how that relates to relationships, and how that relates to females. And my hope is that this provides insight, understanding, and wisdom for your path. May the messages and words and transmissions of this episode bring blessings into your life. May it support your path of awakening. May it support your path of enlightenment. From whatever level you're at, may it help enlighten you to the next level, the next level, the next level. May these messages land in a good and loving way, in alignment with your highest and best good, and only your highest and best good. So be it. May it be so. So welcome. Today we're recording this in the beautiful west coast of Canada, Vancouver Island. I'm not sure if my microphone is picking up the most beautiful little bird sounds. It's just so incredible. The music of nature. It's so important to spend time in nature. Sometimes I forget. I need to remind myself. It's been a long winter for us, and it hasn't been the most inviting here to be outside. And my partner Kendra and I were reflecting our home. We live in a beautiful log cabin. We're extremely grateful and appreciative of our home, and you know, there's always things that could be improved, and one of them is that our home can get very dark. Even in the summer it's dark. It doesn't let a lot of light in, and so the winter is long there, and that long winter makes us appreciate the beauty of spring and the new beginning that the spring brings. So I felt inspired. Why not record this outside? I'm hoping that you can receive some of the beauty of this space. Nature is one of the themes that we're going to talk about today. Nature is truthful. Nature is natural. It sounds so profound. It's so simple. Nature is natural, in case you didn't know. It's organic, certified by God. And really though, what does that mean? Nature does as nature does. As humans, we judge each other. As humans, we judge ourselves. We compare. Oh, I need to be more like this, or I need to be less like that. I know I fall into this trap. Just this week I was thinking about this, thinking about how I can improve my offerings and my impact, and I start comparing myself to all these other people, and I feel that in that comparison I'm always falling short. And then I remember the limitation of comparison. This is a completely different soul. This is a completely different human with completely different experiences and challenges, and they're at a completely different point on the path, right? Maybe you've experienced this, having a mentor or a teacher, someone you look up to, maybe an elder, who you say, man, I'm so far from that. They're so much better than me. They're so much more enlightened than me. And we compare ourselves, and we subconsciously bring ourselves down and feel less than, and we put them up and make them more than, put them up on a pedestal, right? And what is that all about? It's like this person's lived a completely different life than you, and you're their student or their client or whatever, and you know, they're so much farther ahead on the path. It's not about age. You know, they have vastly different experiences, so why compare? Always going to fall short. That's what I've been learning this week particularly. So nature though, you know, when we go in nature, everything grows exactly as it needs to. The tree is exactly as it's meant to be. We don't sit around saying, man, that tree should really not have that curve in it. Man, that tree really shouldn't be growing that way. You know, man, that plant is is less than that other plant. At least I hope you're not like that. It would be a very dark way to live. We go in nature and we just see it as it is. Enjoy it as it is. Love it as it is. Appreciate it. Yet we look at other human beings and we compare and we judge and we say they should be more like this, they shouldn't be like that. There's no truth in that. It's not a truthful way to live. Nature brings us back to this teaching of truth. That which is true, that which is real, reality. The human mind is always creating falsehood. The human mind is always creating illusions and mirror images. Not bad, not wrong, limiting and false. So you have to decide, are you here for reality or are you here for illusion? Are you here to live in truth or are you here to live a lie? You need to decide. You need to make a decision and stand in that. Doesn't mean you're going to get it right. It means you're going to have a guiding star in your life. Decisions are powerful for that reason. Commitments are powerful for that reason. So if you choose to stand in truth and to release and allow yourselves to let go of the lies that you've been living, take some time in nature. When you're in nature, your aura can expand. It can grow bigger. Because there's not as much psychic chaos and confusion. When you're in the city and you're around other people, it's not necessarily the safest environment to expand your aura way out of your body. The human world is very dirty. That may sound harsh or judgmental or negative. I don't see it that way. It's just the truth. Humans are very energetically dirty. Most people are vibrating at a low frequency. And so their mind is always producing garbage, right? Their emotional body continues to send off negative energies, and their astral bodies and their mental bodies reflect that. Right? And that's not a judgment, it's not a critique, it's just how it is. It's how the world is right now. People are in deep need of purification. People are in deep need of wisdom. People are in deep need of reality. Because nature is clean. Nature is so clean. The only areas in nature that are not clean is where humans have had their way with her. Right? So that's something important to remember. Nature is pure. Nature is clean. Nature knows how to stay vibrant and clean. Humans have forgotten. We have the capacity to. It's not that hard. We've just created a world that isn't very conducive for that. So it's not to be afraid of the dirtiness. It's not to judge it. It's not to fear it. It's not to push it away or resist it. It's simply to be aware of the truth of it. Truth is inconvenient, I know. This is why most people choose to live a lie. And it's important to face it, because then we can do something about it. One of my teachers and mentors says, if it's mentionable, it's manageable. Most people are afraid to mention it. So then they can't really manage it, whatever it is, right? Their suffering, their hardship, their difficulties. So this is a teaching of truth. If it's mentionable, it's manageable. So let's mention it. The world is a dirty place. And just like a dirty place, if you go out in the world and you get dirty, you go for whatever, out in an environment where you're covered in dirt, you work on a construction site, and literally it's physically dirty. It's like, what do? Do you cry about it? Do you say, and the world's so dirty? No, you go home You wash it off. You have a shower, scrub, get in there. So it's the same. You can have an energetic shower. You can spiritually cleanse yourself from the outside in and the inside out. Both are very important. Learning how to clear your own energy is a vital skill on the path. It needs to be learned. So there's methods, there's techniques, right? 1, be in nature. Be in nature. Don't bring all that, chaos and thought and all that, intense energy to nature and then just like stew in it and walk around with like a big cloud around you and then just like, whatever, forget about it. No, go in nature and be in nature. Sit. Be with your thoughts, be with your feelings. They'll start to release and detox. And eventually you'll get on the level of nature. You'll start to clean yourself. Another way is with water. Even if you have a shower in the city, pray with the water, ask the water, say, command the water, say, please, clear my energy. I ask with the power of the Creator that this water washes me. May this water wash my body of all negativity. May it wash my astral emotional body of all negativity. May it wash my mental body of all negativity, my spiritual bodies of all negativity, all harmful energy, all non-divine energy. May it cleanse and purify me now of all distortions. May it bring me back to my crystalline purity. May this water bless me. May this water be blessed. Aho, thank you. And then turn your shower on and wash off. Same thing, go to a river, go to the ocean, go to a lake. Wash yourself, dip in. So this is another way to cleanse. That same prayer I made, you can do that without water. You can just pray to the angels, to your guides, to whatever powers you work with, to ask them to purify you. Do some breath work with that intention. So don't just do breath work, ask that the breath work has this effect. Request that this breath work has this effect. Use the power. The same teacher that taught me, if it's mentionable and manageable, he says, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So squeak, get squeaky, my friends. Because you'll get the grease, you'll get the help. Ask and you shall receive. So these are just a few ways you can cleanse spiritually. There's many different methods, right? Meditation is a great method. Specific meditations you can do. You can find those on my Insight Timer. I have some different meditations to cleanse energetically. So all this being said, learn how to clean yourself. It's an important skill. Be willing to face the truth. Be in nature. Nature will clean you, and nature will help you remember truth. Nature will show you reality. That's why as men, we need to learn how to be with nature. Every culture had ceremonies and rituals where young men would go out in nature and be alone for some period of time. Maybe a day, maybe a week, maybe a month, and they'd spend time alone. They would sit with nature. They would go for a vision quest, a rite of passage, to learn how to be, to learn how to commune with the mother and the feminine, and how to settle his own mind, how to settle his heart, how to be with his spirit. Right? A man who doesn't know how to be with himself will never truly mature. A man who doesn't know how to be with himself will never know how to be with a woman in her fullness. He will never know how to be with the feminine within himself. Because a man needs to learn how to heal the feminine within himself. So, as men, taking that time to be in nature teaches us about presence, teaches us how to be present with ourselves. Very important. It's when you learn your center. That's when you learn how to stay in a state of awareness and consciousness. So you can do this. You don't have to go on a big vision quest. Go and sit in nature. Put a timer, 30 minutes, right? And just sit and be and watch and witness, experience nature. Don't walk around. Don't get distracted. Just sit in one spot and be. And watch. Get bored. Get restless. Watch how much your body wants to move. Watch how much your mind wants to think. Watch how, oh, I got to write this thing down. Oh, I got to do this later. I got to make a note of it. Oh, I got to... And just watch all that. Witness all that. Experience all that. And see the insanity of the reality that you're living. Because whatever arises when you spend that time just being with yourself, that's the reality of what's going on. Out of sight, out of mind. So giving that space for it to arise, you can see the reality of what's really going on, just a little bit behind the door, right? Behind that conscious door into the subconscious. It's humbling. It's good medicine. So man, learning to be with yourself is so key. So key. This is where you'll unlock your true power. A lot of men have chaos in their life, confusion, because they didn't sit with themselves long enough as a youth and as an adult. So that need to distract, that need to do, it's one of the shadows and one of the gifts of a man. Because when a man finds his center, when a man finds presence, and brings that to his action, and brings that to his doing, he can create and manifest amazing, beautiful things, beautiful gifts and service to his family, his community, to the world. So this is why men are driven by purpose and work so much, because we have the power to be architects in that way. However, if it's done from fear, resistance, control, cravings, from karma, from negative karma, what's that going to create in the world? Is that going to bring freedom to the world? Or is that going to bring more bondage? Is that going to bring liberation? Is that going to trap more people in the cycles of karma and samsara and maya? Right? So as men, we can create structures that free people. Look at the structures that men have built in the world today. In some ways, we have more freedom than ever before, and yet there's also this sense of control and governance over us. So the world is awakening, and someone needs to build this next phase of Earth's evolution and humankind's evolution. The awakening is occurring, and we need men who are deeply rooted in presence, in consciousness, in love, to bring that into fruition. And that will only come. There's a prerequisite, and that will only come when a man knows how to be with himself and how to be with God, how to be with truth. Because men are beings that need to stand in truth. Without truth, we are lost. So men need that truth. And that medicine of truth cannot be taught. It cannot be taught. It is an experience. It is something you must ask for. You must desire it. You must allow it. You must invite it. And you must create space in your life for it. Because it doesn't happen in all the doing. It happens in the being, in the presence. Nothing wrong with doing. We just need to balance it. And if you're at that level where you can do and be at the same time, and really be present as you're doing, then perhaps you can find truth in the doing. That said, usually you need time of cultivation first, and most men skip that. So this is an important teaching. The best way I've found is being in nature, especially at the beginning of the path. Being in nature, really sitting in nature, watching, listening. So this is true for women too, because these are masculine qualities. That's why many religious spiritual traditions have a very masculine oriented approach of really sitting in presence, stillness, awareness, contemplative practices, right? And those are more masculine, and it has great value for a woman to know how to be in her own presence. And just as men can benefit from some of the feminine practices of embodiment and movement and that Shakti, right? Expressing, emoting, feeling, being in the sensations, opening our heart as men, understanding love, understanding creativity, understanding that feminine juiciness that lives within us as well. Very helpful for a man to be in that and to know how to hold presence and consciousness too. So, a lot of men are afraid of that. They're afraid of feeling. And some men are afraid of the presence. They're afraid of the structure. So we have a divisiveness amongst men. It really depends which camp you're in. There's this very sensitive, spiritually oriented man who's got more feminine qualities. And perhaps that's his true nature, or perhaps that's just the path that's opened out of circumstance. Perhaps he would really benefit from some male masculine energy and structure. And the other camp is men who are afraid to feel, who don't know how to feel, who are disconnected from their heart, and they've been so much in the male masculine energy, but not the enlightened masculine, the unconscious masculine of just doing and building and creating and losing themselves in drugs, losing themselves in alcohol, losing themselves in work, losing themselves in sex, losing themselves in TV or video games or whatever it might be, right? That seeking of losing oneself is actually a deeper yearning of that masculine energy to know true freedom, to know true liberation. And yet they get lost in the distraction and the illusion, the inversion of that, right? Because when you really get lost in a substance or really get lost in a show or a TV show or a movie or whatever, work, that losing of yourself, in a way, you're free in that moment. You forget who and what you are. You forget your stories, your suffering, and you're consumed by it. And yet it's not an antidote. It doesn't really fix anything. It doesn't really support you to be truly free. Whereas the spiritual path asks us to look and liberate ourselves from that which binds us so that we can know true freedom, so that we can lose ourselves in a state of samadhi, a state of consciousness, a state of deep inner presence and awareness, where the ego begins to dissolve and disappear. So often to access those deeper layers of consciousness, these men need to feel. They need to emote, right? Because all those stuck emotions, they block us from going deep into presence. They get us stuck in our head. So a lot of times what really cracks a man open and helps him awaken is to start feeling his heart, start feeling those suppressed emotions and desires and fears that he's been pushing down his whole life. And as those clear and cleanse and detox, as his heart opens, he can begin to connect more fully with that place called truth in the Sacred Heart, that place called love in the Sacred Heart, that place of consciousness within his being, that state of spirit that he is. This is the balance of the male and the female, masculine, feminine, that we all have to find in our own ways. So this message is particularly for men. That said, a woman can learn from this too, of course, because she has those same qualities. A lot of women can be so much in the movement, so much in the feeling, so much in that, at times kind of chaotic feminine nature, not chaotic in a negative or derogatory way, although it can express negatively when it's out of balance. Just the movement, nature is orderly, but it's also a bit chaotic. There's always movement, there's always motion, there's always stuff going on. And so when a female gets too much in that, it would bring a lot of value for her to learn how to sit and watch the show, right? Watch the movement and start to see and penetrate deeply into the true nature of where is all this chaos and movement really coming from? Is it coming from love? Is it coming from my divine nature? Or is it coming from ego and drama and trauma and karma and fear? And if so, let's liberate that. Let's bring that male, masculine energy and liberate and purify so that the feminine movement can come from love, and it can be a dance and embodiment of love rather than fear. And that will bring beautiful creation and manifestation into the world. So it's of great value, great importance for both men and women to find the balance of their inner female and inner male, right? The inner feminine and the inner masculine. We always have both. So unlock that, discover that. There's many paths to that. Sometimes the best way is dance. Sometimes the best way is music. Sometimes the best way is presence. Sometimes the best way is prayer, ceremony. There's so many aspects, so we're not going to get into all of them. That said, explore. Have an intention. That's what begins it, a prayer, an intention. Right now, make a prayer. Right now, make an intention. What is your intention right now in relationship to your masculine? Pause this video, pause this audio, write it down, speak it out loud. What is your intention relating to your masculine energy? And now, what is your intention related to your feminine energy? Once again, pause, write it down. Formulate this, make it into a prayer, put it out into the universe. It will boomerang back. You'll meet the person, you'll get to the place, you'll find that thing, you'll be in the experience or the situation that supports the manifestation of that intention. And before you know it, you'll be in far greater balance and harmony. So first, as humans, we must come into balance and harmony. We must find our relationship with our soul, our heart, with the Creator. Start to walk and talk with the Creator every second of the day. Make truth and reality your priority. And then you'll start to have visions, dreams, insights about what you're supposed to really be doing with your time and energy, who you're meant to serve and how you're meant to serve. First, you must know yourself. First, you must find yourself. First, you must create a good, strong relationship with your Creator. You must live life in a loving way. Get that sorted. And then that purpose, that deeper mission of what is your real gift to our human family, that will start to bubble up and out of you, through you. It'll come from inspiration. It will come from truth. It will come from love. It will come around you. It will manifest through you and around you, and beautiful things will come. So that's my suggestion, is first start with a mission to know yourself, to know truth, to know God, to live life in a good, loving way. Bring balance within yourself. Open your heart. Find truth, find soul, find consciousness, and cultivate that. And then that purpose will come. Many aspects to the path. We could keep going on, but we're going to end there. So this is a message for you, because you're watching it. So that's how it works. If you made it this far, thank you. What a blessing. Such a beautiful opportunity to share these messages. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this was helpful, share it with someone who can benefit from this message. Share it from someone who needs to hear this. Leave a comment. Give a like. Give us some stars. Give us a rating. It makes a huge difference. And reach out. It'd be great to hear how this affected you or impacted you. And any feedback's always welcome. So thank you so much. Sending you all so much love, so much blessings, and look forward to seeing and hearing from you soon.